And take a look. I don't know whether Jim Larinaga was telling his team, hey, on this out-of-bounds play, we have to watch out for Christian Beyer. But Beyer sets a screen here, and when he sets a screen, he is going to get a screen, a little low cross screen, as the ball's reversed, and the ball's sent inside to Beyer, who's posted up against Sheldon McClellan. Christian Beyer is 4 of 4 in this game. He's played 14 minutes. He's got 8 points, 4 rebounds. He doesn't have a turnover. He has played really, really well in this game, and he's one of the reasons that Virginia Tech is in great position right now.
Hey guys, my name's Christian Beyer. I am from New Bern, North Carolina, and I used to be a fellow Gramercy student like you guys. So I guess today the purpose for this video is to act as an encouragement for you guys, especially those who are trying to pursue sports at some level, whether it be college or professional. So for me personally, I play basketball, but it could be can carry over to pretty much any sport that you play. Again, so there's just a little bit of encouragement. So I went to Gramercy from 5th grade to 9th grade back in the day. I grew up, 5th, 6th grade age. I was playing the local rec leagues or whatever you would expect to see in your hometown, and had fun. That was fun. Enjoyed doing that with some of the local kids. And then when I got to 7th, 8th grade at Gramercy, I joined the junior varsity team and played basketball. Really enjoyed it. And then my freshman year at Gramercy, I had the chance to play varsity and really enjoyed that. The tournaments were a lot of fun. Getting to play with the guys I really liked my teammates. It was an enjoyable period of time for me. And then I ended up transferring to New Bern High School my 10th grade year. Played there for 3 years, had a lot of success, really enjoyed it. And was blessed to have the opportunity to walk on at Virginia Tech to play basketball, which was a dream of mine. First of all, I wanted to just go to Virginia Tech, let alone play basketball there, so it was a win-win for me. All right, so I mentioned before that the reason for me transferring from Gramercy to New Bern was for the sake of competition, because when I was about 9th grade, I started going to some AAU tournaments with some local teams and going to some camps, and you had a couple coaches who showed some interest and expressed that they thought that I could play at the college level, and I guess encouraged me that dream of mine that I had was achievable. And so for me, that was encouraging. And I kept hearing that one of the things that you really needed to have was continual play of basketball at the highest level possible. So for me, that meant transferring to New Bern High School, because you'd be playing larger schools where in general the competition would be better. So that was one of the things that was pressing on my mind, was one of the reasons I ended up transferring. And about that time, once you hit the 9th to 11th grade range, you're going to start, or you should start, getting involved in AAU, which is like the Amateur Athletic Union for basketball. That's where you get to the year-round basketball, and that is pretty much the most important part of your development as a player. Yes, high school basketball is important. Yes, you might get some exposure through that, but really AAU is the key in terms of the competition. It's the best. I mean, especially if you get on some good teams, you're playing some of the best teams, and not even just the area. I played against some of the best teams on the Eastern Coast, even some from the Western Coast. So the competition's better year round. It's better. Yes, you got to take care of your body, make sure you're giving yourself some rest. But if you want to take basketball to the next level and potentially play college ball, you have to think about the exposure and how often you're playing. That's really important. So I guess in hindsight, having gone through this whole experience and played college ball myself, I don't absolutely know if the transfer would have been necessary. I definitely think you could continue to go to Gramercy, play varsity basketball there. But if that is your choice, which is totally achievable, you have to really put the emphasis then on AAU and getting your exposure out there. That's really how you're going to get found by coaches. So really the exposure, coaches finding you, and really getting your name out into the area to gain some, some publicity, if you will, is going to be done through AAU. All right, so a little bit more with the AAU. It's not only is it great for the competition, you get to play some really cool players, some really good teammates, really good competition in the area. It's also really good at providing opportunities for you to do like team camps. So like some colleges will have team camps that they'll hold during the summers. Most importantly, I would think it's just the individual camps that a lot of the universities hold. So for example, my junior year of high school, I had the chance over the summer to go to Virginia Tech's individual camp. And that was really when I had my first exposure to Coach Greenberg, who was the head coach at the time, as well as the rest of their coaching staff. And so at the end of that camp, they were very upfront with me and very honest to say, hey, we don't know if you're quite the level of a scholarship player, but we have your information now. We can send it out to anyone who might be interested. But it was really that way of just getting your foot in the door, which was really helpful, because that ended up being, I guess, basically the initiation. They had my information. They were able to reach out to me at that point. But it's not even just the tournaments and just your simple play that's getting your information out. It's really important to have the initiative. One thing that I remember was my mom making like a Yahoo account for me, and we would compile some videos of my of my play and some examples of, I guess, my style of play and my strengths, and we would send those videos to coaches through the emails. So I would recommend that pretty heavily. That's important for some of you guys who are, again, trying to get to that next level. So I know basketball seems to be at the surface level all about fun and games, but if you're really interested in getting to the next level, there is a lot of hard work that goes into it, let alone just the practices in college. Just simply getting yourself to the level of having the opportunity to be able to play at that level is really difficult. In high school, a lot of times when a lot of my friends were going out, going to the movies or something, having fun, I was outside, shooting hoops, working on my game. That's definitely the foundation of your development as a player, is going to be the time that you put in. Even now, it should start now. Definitely staying in shape, eating well, getting a lot of sleep, working on your schoolwork. You got to make sure you're eligible for the school, for the university. So again, that foundation starts at an early age, working on your game consistently. It's not just something you do a couple times a week. You have to, if you're really dedicated to this, it's something you're gonna have to, put a lot of time to. And that doesn't even just stop. Like once you get to college, college is even more challenging. The number of times I woke up at 5 in the morning for weights, for practice, for team meetings, it's very challenging, but I guarantee you it's worth it. It's worthwhile. Looking back on it, it's probably the proudest thing, I guess the most important thing that I've done, and I guess what I'm most proud about is the experience that I had at Virginia Tech. So again, just to encourage you, the foundation, working on your game, very challenging. Sometimes you're going to want to go hang out with your friends, but if you're committed to this, you got to make some sacrifices, but in the end, it'll pay off. All right, so I guess as a result of all of this work that I put in growing up and going to the individual camp at Virginia Tech, get my name out there, Coach Greenberg, the head coach for Virginia Tech at the time, he offered me a preferred walk-on spot. So I was able to join the men's basketball team starting the summer year of my freshman year. And it's, not gonna lie, it can be a rocky road, but it's totally worth it. It's so much fun getting to play the sport that I dedicated my life to since I was like about 10 years old. It was really fun. Had a lot of difficult times, a lot of fun times though. Had some great opportunities, got to travel around the country when a lot of kids were just in school doing homework. We flew out to Las Vegas, played a tournament. We played a tournament in Cancun, got to play in the Utah Jazz's gym against some really good competition out west. I personally like playing against Cameron, the Duke Blue Devils in Cameron Indoor. It was just a lot of fun. I grew up watching a couple games on TV there, seeing that crazy stadium, and seeing myself get to the point where I was playing in that gym was pretty cool. I guess as a walk-on, you have to. It's tough, kind of understanding what your position what your role is as a walk-on. You kind of have to go in there with a humble spirit, because you are definitely not the guy, if you will. Which is good. You definitely have to keep your head on a good head on your shoulders. You definitely don't want to be cocky, because you can lose it in just one injury. But for me, it was challenging, just kind of understanding my role, being a supportive player, being an encourager. All the games, pretty much my sophomore and junior year, spent most of the time on the bench, just kind of being there for the guys, encouraging. And as a walk-on, your ultimate role is just to be basically just an extra man in practice. But I kept grinding, I kept working in college, I kept proving myself, and eventually I was able to really kind of curve out some playing time that I had earned just from stick-to-itiveness. And by my senior, I ended up starting a bunch of games. I ended up starting against Duke when we played them at our home place. I don't know if you guys know who Jaleel Okafor is, but he was, I think, number 2, the second guy drafted in the NBA draft like 2 years ago. But I got the chance to do the jump ball against him. Absolutely lost the jump ball, but still had the chance, which was fun. So I guess this goes to show that even some guy from Eastern North Carolina, where you're not going to typically think about a basketball player, originally went to Gramercy, a little private school. That's not really the determining factor. The determining factor is how much you're willing to put into this and how dedicated you are. To establishing that foundation, getting yourself out there through AAU, getting that exposure, playing against some really good competition, majority of the year round, I guess you could say. So again, ultimately, the summation of all those things really can result in you getting a chance, whether it's even just a walk-on spot. That's not a problem at all. You can work your way up, but whether it's a walk-on spot or even earning a scholarship. D3, D2, D1, doesn't matter. If you want to play ball, it's definitely worth it to dedicate yourself to something like this. And so again, I want to encourage you guys. It's definitely doable, and I'm an example of that. I know we had a couple other students when I went there who ended up playing ball. I don't know if you guys remember Rachel Lyons. She ended up playing basketball too. So it's definitely something you can do. And so again, I want to encourage you guys to just do your best, and if you want it, you can make it happen. So I guess a result of the many years of playing college ball, so again, started as a preferred walk-on, did my time, really put the effort in, was a good practice player and kept getting better and improving myself to the point where I was actually given a scholarship my senior year, which was really, really special for me. Again, just a small kid from Eastern North Carolina, being a Division I scholarship athlete was really cool to have that on my resume, I guess you could say. But I guess one of the most important things you could say about the experience is not just, getting part of my college paid for, was I guess some of the attributes you develop from the whole process. I know I don't mean to scare you all about college ball, but it is challenging. But something that I got out of it, probably the best quality I got out of it, was time management skills. You're pretty much going 24/7 in college, playing ball, making sure you're going to classes, making sure you're lifting weights, making sure you're going to team meetings, and making time for the homework that you have to do in the afternoon. So that was probably what I've achieved, or what I've learned to do best from the whole experience, and it's paid dividends for me even after basketball. I'm in med school now, and compared to some of my classmates, based on what I've been doing in college a few years ago, med school has been relatively easy. Just all that I've had to experience and all that I've had to balance, whether it's both basketball and school. And now all I have is basically just school to balance. So think about how basketball, not only is it going to help you get into a college, get the education you need, but think about how it's going to impact you in your life moving forward. You're going to be a better person because of it. You're going to be able to work with people better. You're going to know how to relate to people better, how to work hard, obviously. And again, the time management skills can be very, very important. So again, overall, just want to encourage you guys, even a little person from Eastern North Carolina, if you put the hard work in and get your name out there, you definitely have the chance, to make it to the next level, whether it be basketball or, like I said earlier, this translates to other sports. If you want it to happen, you can make it happen. So I wish you all the best in your pursuit of sports, and I hope this was encouraging for some of y'all.